The first time Commander Ethan Cole saw the alien woman, she was floating in a containment field, unconscious, breathing slowly, and surrounded by faint blue light. The crash had nearly destroyed half of the shipyard dome on Titan Station, but what caught everyone's attention wasn't the wreckage. It was her, tall, silver-skinned, dressed in some kind of crystalline armor that shimmered even in the dark. Ethan didn't know it then, but this single rescue would change everything about how humans saw the stars. The science team had found her ship burning in Titan's upper atmosphere, something small and sleek like a dart made for stealth. She was the only survivor. Her wounds were strange, not physical burns but deep energy scarring that looked like lightning had passed through her body. When she woke up 2 days later in the medbay, she was already standing. Or trying to. That's when the trouble began. She stood from the bed too quickly, staggered a few steps forward and almost fell. Her balance was gone, her legs shaking. 2 medics rushed to help her, but she brushed them away with a hiss, sharp, angry, almost like a wild animal protecting itself. Then she looked straight at Ethan, her golden eyes narrow and fierce. "I can't walk straight. What did you do to me, human?" The room went silent. Ethan, still wearing his command jacket and Titan security badge, raised both hands calmly. "We didn't do anything to you. You were injured when we found you. You've been unconscious for 48 hours. Her expression stayed cold. "Lies, my people recover in minutes. You've poisoned me," Ethan sighed. He had handled alien prisoners before on smugglers, raiders, scouts, but never anyone like this. Her posture was regal, her gaze sharp enough to make trained soldiers step back. She wasn't a simple scout. She was something else. "Listen," Ethan said slowly. "We're not your enemy. We saved your life. You crash-landed on Titan and your ship is in pieces. You're lucky to be alive." She didn't respond. Instead, she looked around the sterile white medbay, her eyes tracing every blinking light and human instrument. Her expression mixed confusion with pride. "This place. Primitive," she murmured. "And yet, alive." Ethan tilted his head. "Alive?" She didn't explain. Instead, she tried walking again, slower this time. Her legs trembled, like her body didn't fully obey her mind. She took a few steps, then looked down at her hands. Her skin, once shimmering silver, was duller now, like it had lost some energy. "Your atmosphere," she muttered. "Too heavy, too wet. It interferes with neural flow." Dr. Liang, the head medic, looked at her readings. "Commander, her biochemistry is like nothing we've ever seen. She's running on some kind of energy-based nervous system. Electrical impulses instead of pure biology." Ethan nodded. "So she's basically short-circuiting in our environment?" Liang gave a small shrug. "That's one way to put it." The alien woman frowned, crossing her arms. "You talk about me as if I'm an experiment." Ethan met her eyes. "No. We talk about you as someone we saved." Her gaze softened for just a second, then hardened again. "Then return me to my ship." Ethan hesitated. "That might be complicated." "Why?" she demanded. He gestured for her to follow. "You should see it yourself." They walked through the long corridor of Titan Station. The walls were steel gray, humming with the sound of the oxygen pumps and distant machinery. Soldiers and technicians stopped to stare at her, the first living member of her species ever seen by humans. Some looked afraid. Others looked amazed. She ignored them all. When they reached Docking Bay 3, the wreckage of her ship lay under bright floodlights. Twisted metal, cracked crystal hull, and strange circular marks burned into the surface. Ethan stopped a few meters from the wreck, her eyes widened. For a moment, the proud warrior's mask broke. She stepped forward slowly, her hand trembling as she touched the broken frame. This was not an accident," she whispered. "This was attack fire." Ethan frowned. "Attack fire? From who?" She turned to face him, her voice cold. "From you." Ethan blinked. "That's not possible. No human weapons have plasma signatures like those." She shook her head. "You speak as if you understand." "You do not. That pattern, it is human-made, but not from this century." Ethan stared. "What do you mean?" She looked straight into his eyes. "Your kind has traveled further than you admit. You've touched systems you should not know about." He didn't answer. The silence between them was heavy. Finally, she asked, "What do you call yourself?" "Commander Ethan Cole, Earth Defense Corps." She tilted her head. "Earth? Yes, I've heard that name in whispers." The Lost World, that sentence froze Ethan in place. Lost world? We're not lost. Her golden eyes glowed faintly. Then why does no one in the galaxy know you exist? Later that night, Ethan stood alone in his command office, replaying her words. The alien, who now identified herself as Siren Valith of the Letherian Guard, had refused medical scans, refused rest, and spent hours examining her own wreckage. She claimed her mission had been to trace a forbidden signal, one that originated from a dead sector of space. Near Earth's solar system, Liang entered quietly. Commander, she's resting now. Her vitals are stabilizing. Ethan didn't look up. Do you believe her? Liang hesitated. About what? That humans have been to her world, or whatever she meant. I think she's confused. Maybe the crash damaged her memory. Ethan nodded slowly, but he wasn't convinced. The burn patterns on her ship didn't match any known weapons. But one thing did stand out. The energy residue was similar to an old, abandoned human project, Project Helios, a deep space probe program shut down 50 years ago. Something didn't add up. The next morning, alarms echoed through the station. Ethan rushed to the med bay. Siren was gone. Security footage showed her moving through corridors like a shadow, avoiding every camera, slipping past guards. She had escaped using nothing but stealth and strange bursts of light from her palms, enough to disable doors and sensors. Ethan slammed his fist on the console. Lock down all exits. But before he could send the order, the comlink buzzed. Commander, incoming transmission. From the outer perimeter. He opened it, and there she was, standing in the observation dome, staring at the blue curve of Saturn. You lied to me, she said, her voice echoing over the radio. I found your archives. Your people did send ships beyond the rift. Ethan swallowed hard. Those were probes centuries ago. We lost contact, that's all. Then explain this. She turned the camera toward a small metallic cube floating beside her, glowing faintly with the same energy as her ship. Your signature. Human technology, the same signal that destroyed my vessel. Ethan stared at it, speechless. I was right, she said softly. You've awakened something you cannot control. Then, before he could respond, the feed cut off. The outer dome sensors flashed, an energy surge massive and growing. And at its center was Siren. The station trembled. Sirens wailed. Energy fields flickered to life. Ethan ran toward the observation deck, shouting orders. Soldiers lined the corridor, weapons ready. Through the viewport, he saw her, floating, surrounded by arcs of light, her body glowing brighter every second. She wasn't attacking. She was trying to stop something. And then he saw it. A rift opening in space above Titan, black and spiraling, the same signature from her damaged ship. Ethan's eyes widened. Oh no. She looked down at him through the glass, and for the first time her voice was not angry but desperate. Commander, help me. Your world is in danger. The rumble shook Titan Station from core to dome. Commander Ethan Cole's boots pounded against the metallic corridor as alarms blared. The outer rift, a swirling black spiral in the sky, grew wider and brighter. Scientists ran around shouting, pulling data from screens that flickered with interference. Ethan's mind was fixed on one thing, Siren Valith. The Letherian woman floated in the observation dome, her silver skin glowing faintly as arcs of blue energy coursed along her arms. She had stopped the rift from expanding further, but not entirely. Something ancient and powerful pulsed from the center of the void, and even she could only hold it at bay for so long. Commander, Dr. Liang shouted over the chaos. The rift. It's reacting to her energy signature. Whatever she is, she's the key to keeping it stable. Ethan didn't hesitate. He ran up the stairs to the observation deck. Soldiers and techs tried to stop him, but the look in his eyes told them there was no time for questions. As he entered the dome, Siren noticed him. Her golden eyes softened slightly, though the energy around her made her seem untouchable. You came, she said. Her voice was calm, almost melodic over the hum of raw power. I'm not letting this station get ripped apart, Ethan replied, his chest heaving. Now tell me, on what is that rift? She glanced at the swirling black void. That is a breach between dimensions. It should have been sealed a millennium ago. But your people, long ago, tampered with these regions of space. You called it exploration. I call it recklessness. Ethan's brow furrowed. You're saying humans caused this? She nodded. Not intentionally, but yes. Some probe your ancestors launched. A signal in the dark void. Activated dormant energy. That energy is now unstable, and it reached me. I was tracing it when your station interfered, causing my ship to crash. Ethan shook his head. So we're paying for something centuries old? Seren's expression was sharp. Yes, and it grows stronger by the day. You are lucky I survived, he swallowed hard. And now what? How do we stop it? She looked at him, her eyes bright with determination. We cannot stop it alone. I need your humans to help me recalibrate the energy fields of the station and focus my power to seal the rift. But it requires access to every core system, including the old Project Helios archives. Ethan's stomach tightened. Project Helios was classified. Only a handful of people knew its location. The archives hadn't been accessed for decades. But he nodded. I'll get you access, whatever it takes. Meanwhile, technicians scrambled to reroute power through Titan Station's main conduits. The air was thick with tension, the smell of ozone from overloaded circuits filling the corridors. Soldiers guarded the perimeter, but none dared approach the dome where Serene hovered, her body humming with energy so intense it made the steel floors vibrate beneath them. Serene extended her arms, energy streaming from her fingertips. The rift is unstable. Every second we delay makes it stronger. If we fail, her voice dropped to a whisper, your moon will be destroyed. Ethan's jaw tightened. Then we won't fail. Let's move. He signaled to Dr. Liang and the technical team. Get me the Helios archives, and reroute all energy to the primary field stabilizers. Dr. Liang's fingers danced across her console. It's harder than I thought. The archives are encrypted in a protocol no human has decoded in decades. Saren tilted her head, a faint smile tugging at her lips. Then let me help. I can read energy signatures. Your machine's codes are primitive, but I can adapt them. Ethan hesitated. Are you sure you're not fully recovered? She glanced down at her trembling legs. I cannot walk straight human, but I can still channel energy. Her voice was sharp and confident. You saved me from my crash. Now save your station from the rift. Together they descended into the core of Titan Station. Sparks flew from damaged panels as they navigated the corridors. The further they went, the stronger the rift's pull became. Gravity warped unnaturally, making movement a challenge. Even Ethan had to hold onto rails to keep from sliding toward the walls. When they reached the Helios archives chamber, the doors were sealed by decades-old locks. Ethan frowned. These locks are archaic but secure. It's going to take hours to override. Seren shook her head. Hours are luxury we do not have. She extended her hand, letting energy leak from her palm toward the metal doors. The metal glowed, softened, and the locks disintegrated into harmless sparks. Ethan stared. I've never seen anything like that. She smirked slightly. You humans underestimate the potential of life beyond your own species. And that is why the stars are dangerous. And beautiful. Inside, the Helios archives glowed softly, stored in rows of crystalline data cores. Ethan and Dr. Liang worked to decipher the code, feeding the instructions into Titan Station systems. Seren hovered above, energy flowing from her like liquid light, synchronizing with the ship's power grid. Hours passed, though time felt strange in the presence of her aura. The rift loomed outside, a monstrous eye in space, dark and unyielding. Finally, the last data stream was decoded. The energy stabilizers hummed. Lights flickered across the station and the floor trembled less violently. We're ready, Seren said. Her voice was calm but firm. Now I channel the stabilizers into the rift. Focus all station energy into me. Trust me. Ethan took a deep breath and nodded. Do it, all energy to the stabilizers. I trust you. Serene's eyes closed, her body glowing brighter, veins of light running across her arms and torso. Ethan watched in awe as she lifted into the air, her form almost ethereal. Streams of energy shot from her hands, connecting with the station's power conduits, flowing outward into the rift. The void outside Titan shimmered and pulsed, writhing as if alive. Black tendrils of energy reached toward the station, then recoiled, repelled by the human-alien synergy. The rift screamed silently, like the tearing of space itself, but slowly it began to shrink. Ethan watched, sweat running down his face. Come on, hold it. Seren's golden eyes opened, fierce and glowing. We are stronger together, human. Your kind may be primitive, but you are resilient. You can adapt. You can endure. That is why we survive. Her words struck him. In that moment he realized the truth of the HFY spirit. Humanity wasn't the most advanced, wasn't the fastest or the strongest, but it could rise to challenges that even the stars themselves would challenge. The rift shrank further. Energy crackled across the dome, then, with a final surge, the swirling black void collapsed into a thin line and vanished. Silence returned. The station hummed with normal power, systems stabilizing one by one. Ethan exhaled, his legs weak from tension. We did it. It's gone. Serene floated gently to the floor. Her legs wobbled slightly, but she stood. Yes, for now. The breach is closed, but the signal... Your people will need to understand the consequences of curiosity. Ethan approached her, a mixture of awe and respect in his eyes. Your people. Are there others like you? She shook her head. Perhaps, but I am the first you have seen, and now we must prepare for the next phase, discovering why the signal exists, and who really sent it. Dr. Liang, catching his breath, looked at Ethan. Commander, she's not just powerful, she's wise, and she respects humans now. Ethan smiled faintly. And maybe we can learn from her. Seren looked out the viewport at Saturn and its moons. Your world is young, human, but it has potential. Do not waste it. There is greatness in your species, if you choose to rise. Ethan nodded, understanding the weight of her words. Humanity was being tested, not just by the rift, but by the choices it would make now. And for the first time he felt a surge of hope, that humans, despite all odds, could rise to challenges that no one else could. That night, Titan Station was quiet. Serene sat beside Ethan in the command room, her energy dimmed but still present. They didn't need words. Both knew the universe was larger, darker, and more dangerous than they had imagined. And both knew that together, human and Letherian, they had survived what most would have failed. Outside, the stars shone cold and bright. Somewhere in the darkness, the remnants of the ancient human probe waited. And somewhere in the rift beyond space, a greater challenge stirred, waiting for the courage, ingenuity, and spirit of humanity to confront it. For now, though, the crisis was over. And in the quiet aftermath, the bond between human and alien had begun, fragile but full of promise. The calm after the storm did not last long. Titan Station had stabilized, but the mysterious signal that had caused Serene's ship to crash remained. Ethan Cole stood on the observation deck, staring at the stars, thinking about what she had said. Do not waste the potential of your species. Her words echoed in his mind, reminding him that the universe was full of challenges far beyond Titan's dome. Commander, Dr. Liang's voice came from behind, pulling him from his thoughts. We've traced the residual energy from the rift. It's not gone entirely. There's a source, in the Kuiper Belt. Something is emitting the same signature as the probe that destroyed Seren's ship. Ethan's brow furrowed. A remnant of Project Helios? Liang shook her head. No, this is different, stronger, and intelligent. It's like it's waiting for something, or someone, Ethan nodded. Then we go to it. Prepare the exploration vessel. Seren will help. Seren hovered beside him, her silver skin catching the glow of Titan Station's lights. Her legs still trembled slightly, a reminder of the crash, but her posture was firm. We will face what your people created, and decide if it is to be your downfall or your rise. Ethan glanced at her. And if it attacks us? Her golden eyes glimmered. Then we fight, together. The vessel they boarded was sleek and fast, designed for human pilots but reinforced to handle Seren's energy flow. As the engines ignited, Ethan couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement. Humans had survived countless challenges on Earth. Now they were reaching for the stars, guided by courage and intelligence. That, Seren had said, was what made them dangerous in a good way. Hours passed as they traveled through the cold blackness of space. Serene floated in the main chamber, connected to the ship's systems via a conduit that allowed her to monitor energy fluctuations. Ethan sat beside her, navigating through asteroid fields and icy debris of the Kuiper Belt. Finally, the source appeared. It was a massive crystalline construct, hovering silently in the void. It pulsed with energy like a heartbeat, and faintly, Ethan could feel the same resonance Serene had felt when she first arrived on Titan. Strange glyphs ran along its surface, glowing faintly in colors no human eye had names for. Siren's eyes widened. This is a beacon. It was meant to call life capable of intelligence. To test them, Ethan frowned. Test them? By nearly killing you? Not intentionally, she replied. It tests the species it touches, their courage, resilience, and ingenuity. You humans have passed the first phase, Ethan swallowed. And the next phase? Siren's voice turned serious. The beacon adapts. It will challenge you further. It tests not just skill, but morality and choice. Only those who work together survive. The beacon suddenly pulsed brighter, sending out arcs of energy that rippled across space. The ship rocked violently as the energy attempted to penetrate its shields. Ethan gritted his teeth, pushing the vessel forward while Siren channeled her energy into the hull, strengthening it against the pulse. We need to enter it, she shouted over the commotion. We must reach its core and communicate. Energy alone will not suffice. Ethan's hands moved quickly. Coordinates set. Engaging docking protocol. The vessel approached the beacon, and with Siren's help they managed to dock. The connection hummed like a living thing. Inside, the corridor of the beacon was crystalline, shimmering with light and filled with strange symbols. Ethan felt his heart race. This was unlike anything humanity had built in or faced. Stay close, Siren warned. It tests your mind as well as your body. Expect illusions, distractions, and fear. As they progressed, visions appeared in the crystal walls. Ethan saw images of Earth, cities in ruins, oceans boiling, humans fighting among themselves. Fear and doubt crept in, but Siren reached out, touching his shoulder. Her energy pulsed warmly, grounding him. You are stronger than your fear, she said. Your species thrives on hope and ingenuity. Focus on that. Together they advanced, reaching the core of the beacon. It was a large crystalline orb, pulsating with energy. And as they approached, it projected a holographic image. Not human, not Letherian, but something beyond comprehension. It spoke in a voice that resonated in their minds. You have endured the test of survival. You have faced the storm and preserved life. But wisdom is your final trial. Choose. Harness this energy to dominate or to protect and rise. Ethan and Siren exchanged a glance. The choice was clear. Protect, Ethan said aloud. We rise by helping, not by destroying. Siren nodded. Then we do it together. They placed their hands on the orb, and a surge of energy enveloped them. Light and warmth filled the corridors, symbols shifting into patterns they could understand. Knowledge flowed into their minds. Star maps, energy flow principles, communication with other civilizations. It was overwhelming, but also exhilarating. Hours later, they emerged from the beacon. The rift had disappeared, the energy stabilized, and the Kuiper belt returned to calm. The beacon, now dormant, hummed quietly as if acknowledging their choice. Ethan looked at Siren. You said humans have potential, he said. I think we've just begun to see it. Siren smiled faintly. Yes, you have passed the trials of courage, ingenuity, and morality. Remember this. The universe is full of challenges, but your spirit can rise above any test. Ethan felt a surge of pride. Humans had survived the rift, deciphered alien technology, and proved they could adapt to cosmic threats far beyond Earth's imagination. HFY, humanity could rise, even in the face of stars that sought to test them. Back at Titan Station, the journey home was calm. The crew was exhausted but jubilant. News of the beacon and the rift was classified, but Ethan knew that when humanity did reach the stars, it would do so with courage, ingenuity, and hope. Siren remained with him, an ally, a guide, and a reminder that intelligence alone was not enough. Only the courage to rise above fear and unite could save them. Commander, she said, her voice soft, your species has heart. Never forget it, Ethan smiled. And never forget you saved more than a station. You reminded us what we are capable of. Siren's golden eyes twinkled faintly. Then our journey continues. Together, human. The stars stretched endlessly before them, vast and full of possibility. Humanity had faced its first true cosmic test and had survived. And as Titan Station's engines hummed, carrying them back to the safety of familiar worlds, Ethan felt a new truth in his heart. The universe was wide, dangerous, and unknown. But humanity, with courage and unity, could rise above anything. And somewhere, deep in the shadows of the stars, other civilizations took notice. Not of the flaws, but of the human spirit, fierce, adaptable, and endlessly rising.